Hello, it is Wednesday, October 25th, 2023. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It is a Wednesday crossword today, which means a midweek, mid-difficulty themed crossword. And we can see some little sort of diamond shapes of circled cells in the grid. So those will be thematic. Let's find out how. And this thematic edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by David Innes, Josh Lucas, Alex, and as always, the indomitable Showmaster and the incredible Horan family. So thank you so much to the five of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for their generous support. They are, of course, sustaining this channel, bringing us this series. Very grateful to them for that. So thanks to them. Thanks to everybody who's a patron. If you'd like to consider becoming one yourself, you can do so at patreon.com/dailysolve or via the link in the description field underneath the video. I apologize for the drilling. If you can hear that in the background, let's see if we can engender a speedy solve today and not deal with too much of that in the background. Okay. Do also subscribe to the channel on YouTube if you are enjoying these videos and you would like to help out a little bit. And then finally, there's also the Daily Solve Discord chat server, to which there's a link in the description field. So check that out as well. It's a nice, friendly chat community. All right. And having said all that, we can get on to the crossword, which was constructed by Amy Lucido, who's constructed, I think, around a dozen crosswords for the New York Times, maybe a little more. And it was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. So let's start solving and see how we do with this one. Okay, we've got four diamond patterns of circled cells, so let's give it a shot. 1982 sci-fi film with a 2010 sequel. That would be Tron, I think. Didn't see the sequel, but I have seen Tron. Channel for vintage film buffs. TCM, Turner Classic Movies, which I think was about to be shut down recently, and a number of notable people from the world of cinema, such as Martin Scorsese, I think successfully, possibly, spoke out in its defense. Caviar is fish roe, eggs, and woe is oof or oho or something, or OMG maybe. Maybe OMG. Let's see. Materialize. Come to be. No. Oops. Yeah, it could be come to be. I'm not certain this is correct, but let's give it a shot. Whoa. So this were OMG. Half of a 1990s, 2000s rock duo with 6 Grammys. Half of. I don't know. That's interesting. Stereotypical game show prize. Don't know that either. Boring person. Vegetable with a purple top. I'm not really seeing any of these. I might delete this for now. We'll come back to it. Oh, but materialize probably is come something. Baseball great Irving to fans. Right, okay. The last time I saw this, I said I wouldn't have been able to get it without at least one crossing letter. But because that happened so recently, I do remember it this time. And it's Dr. J. Julius Irving, I think, maybe? Let's see. Boring person. I mean, with the O from come to be, it could be adult, but that's not really boring per se. A drip. A drag. I don't know. Vegetable with a purple top, and then baseball park served with raspberries, ? So the question mark means some kind of pun is going on here. So a raspberry could be, you could blow a raspberry. You could be mocking the opposing team or whatever. It could be a jeer of some sort. I'm not sure. Let's see. Lingo could be language or argot or terminology. What would this be? Not sure. Okay, Six Nations people. Six Nations people. I assume this doesn't mean the Six Nations rugby tournament. I'm guessing this is a North American indigenous reference rather than that. But let's see. Member of Led Zeppelin. Let's see. Jimmy Page doesn't fit. Robert Plant doesn't fit. John Bonham, maybe? The drummer from Led Zeppelin? The other option would be John Paul Jones, the bassist, which doesn't fit. Let's see. Let's look at 55 across because it's referenced there. Display of skill. Oh, I see. Display of skill one might request from 17 across and 8 and 28 down, depicted literally 4 times in this puzzle. So these will all be drummers. So this must be Meg White of the White Stripes. There we go. And she's also a drummer. So who is this then? One of the Fab Four, right? Okay, that'll be Ringo Starr. Also the drummer of the Beatles, of course. So is this display of skill drumming? Is it as simple as that? Depicted literally, it could be. Why not? Let's check the crosses. Let's just see. Mine yield, or maybe not. Oh, drum solo, because it's a display of skill. I see. So mine yield is or, letters in the corner of a phone screen. Oh, it could be LTE, representing the sort of kind of network you're connected to. The drug that's dropped. Well, you drop LSD, but that wouldn't be the answer here because the fill. I'm fairly certain drum solo is correct. What would this be? Drug. I'm not sure. Sorry. It's a must. A need, I suppose, is literally a must. And John Wayne and Ian Fleming for 2. What on earth do they have in common? I don't know. John Wayne, the film actor, and Ian Fleming, the James Bond novelist. I don't know what they have in common. Lemon-like fruit. Okay, I'm just sort of now going all over the place. Let's get back to the actual puzzle here. Lingo. Oh, jargon. Did I not say that at one point? I must not have. That's strange. That should have been the first thing that I thought of. Six Nations people, vet school subject. So this will be veterinary school, I think. So you'd study anatomy, the anatomy of the animals that you're going to be treating. Dreamy sleep stage would be the REM stage of sleep, rapid eye movement. Dwarf's representative in the Fellowship of the Ring. What's the name of the dwarf from Lord of the Rings? It's Gimli. There we go. Ancient Greek theater would be an Odeon. There we go. And there's cinema chain named for that. Deal breakers informally are narcs, I suppose, because they break drug deals. And again, we have a question mark here, so it's indicating a bit of punniness. So the deal in question is a drug deal rather than, sort of deal in a business sense or something. Although I guess it's essentially the same concept. Here we have a film director, Jean-Luc Godard, and I think we've seen all the other crosses. Purposes are... Oh, I would have said aims if not for... Oh, no, it's odium. Sorry, odium. Jean-Luc, I didn't even realize Jean-Luc Godard was completely misspelled. Oh, wait a second. Sorry, I missed part of the theme. Display of skill one might request from 17 and 18 and 28 down, but then there's also the bit I didn't pay any particular attention to, depicted literally 4 times in this puzzle. So here we have drum. Well, I don't know why that's a solo necessarily, but it is depicted 4 times in this puzzle. So what does that mean, drum solo? Because it's what? It's not clued, or it's depicted literally 4 times in this puzzle. Why is that solo? I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm missing exactly what makes this kind of circular or diamond representation a drum solo per se, but it's clearly the representation. So there we have it. Okay. Anyway, purposes are aims after all. Helper abbreviation is assistant. I was going to say aid, but that's not an abbreviation. That's just a word. So assistant is an abbreviation. Return payments. My first thought would be rebates, but it doesn't work with John Bonham, which I'm sure is correct. So let's look here. Nickname for singer Justin with the Justin Bieber, the Beeb. Is that spelled B-I-E-B or B-E-E-B, which that would make it look like the BBC. I'm guessing probably an I for that reason. But let's check the crosses. So here we have the baseball part. Oh, maybe it is jeering. I think I used the word jeer when I was talking about this before, but it didn't occur to me to put it in the kind of gerund form jeering. The present participle, I guess. Let's see. One sharing drop-off duties, maybe. A co-parent? I suppose, yeah, school drop-off duties. That seems reasonable. Many MIT grads, abbreviation, are EEs, electrical engineers, and return payments are ransoms, right? Payments you make to someone in order to have them returned to you. And then vegetable with a purple top. Oh, a rutabaga. There we go. Okay, there we go. Probably should have thought of that, but I didn't. Materialize, right? It isn't come to be. It's come, if it will materialize, if it will come true. There we go. So a boring person is a drip, which was, I think, one of the things I postulated, but I wasn't certain enough to put it in. Readathon, I guess. I'm not sure what that is exactly, but it looks like it's probably the answer. Maybe that's in grade school when children are encouraged to read and there's sort of a competition associated with it. Maybe that's what that is. I'm not sure. Okay, stereotypical game show prize. New car, I guess. Yeah, it's the kind of thing you could win on a game show, I suppose. Church fixture. An organ is often a fixture of a church, a pipe organ or an electric organ, I guess. Olds, Keats, or Shelley. Odist, right? I was thinking poet, but right. So two things to point out about this. One is that it refers to creators of the official poetic form of the New York Times crossword, the ode, but also that it is an or clue. So bear in mind, we're only referring to any one of these three poets, not all three of them. So the answer will be singular, not plural. And I say that because I myself, when I started reading this, was thinking, oh, poets, that would fit in 5 letters with a plural because there are several of them. No, that was wrong for 2 reasons. One, that obviously the crossing letter doesn't work, but also only one of these needs to be defined. So odist. Unsmiling, well, they're all technically defined, but we're only referring to any one of them at a time. Okay, unsmiling in demeanor. If you're doer or dour, I've heard it pronounced both ways, you could be unsmiling in demeanor. Star-crossed Montague. So Romeo, famously from Romeo and Juliet, is of the Montague family, unlike Juliet of the Capulets. And they're the star-crossed lovers. That's the clue. WeChat chats in brief are IM's instant messages. To dress up is to, if you dress someone up, you sort of gussy them up, or you get gussied up, you get dressed up. Poetic form featuring lexical repetition rather than rhyme. Oh, that's interesting. And we're crossing a different sort of poem, although I suppose you could probably compose an ode in this form. I refer to the ode as the official poetic form. It isn't really a form. I say that because it's just an easy way to put it, but it's more a kind of, I don't know. It has some more to do with the kind of centrality of a subject of adulation to the poem rather than the actual poetic form itself. But anyway, I'm going to keep saying it that way. But this clue draws attention to my inaccuracy. Anyway, poetic form featuring lexical repetition rather than rhyme. This looks familiar, but I'm not 100% sure. Sestina or something. Fiddling. If you're fiddling with something, you're toying with it. Fender blemish. So a fender in a, on maybe a car, in the front of a car, the fender on a car could be a ding. And what is this? Online news aggregator founded in 2004. Wow, Dig. I wonder if Dig is still around. This used to be, well, maybe still is, a website where things would be prioritized on the front page, I think, based on the number of times people sort of, endorsed a particular link or upvoted it. I don't know if it still works that way or if it still exists or what. But anyway, that's the answer. Here we have, this does look like sestina. Fastens with string is ties. So there we go. That's been sorted. Number one focus would be egotism, I suppose. If you have a focus on number one, yourself. Number one in the sense of first person. Something spilled by a gossip. You spill the tea, you share the gossip, you dish. Splinter group would be a sect, so a particular group of splinter group of a religion, say. Short time off work A sick day, I suppose, would be a single sick day would be a short time off work. Setting for The King and I, that's Siam of Thailand, but yes, famously set there. Badly hurt. To maim somebody would be to badly hurt them. So badly hurt this is one of those clues that could be either, this could be an adjective or a noun. You could be, I am badly hurt, or you could badly hurt somebody. So when you see things like this, do remember to consider whether it could be other parts of speech. Leader prominent in the 1956 Suez Crisis, Nasser. There we go. Yes, Suez Crisis, major geopolitical event. And hearty draft pick, major geopolitical event, particularly for, never mind, I won't go into it. Anyway, hearty draft pick, what would this be? I assume this is referring to, yeah, no, it is referring to a beer or an ale. It's a stout. There we go. Okay, I was trying to, because, draft pick sometimes you think refers to in sort of U.S. or North American sporting contexts, the way that teams draft prospective players. But I just was figuring, the way it's phrased, it seems like it's probably not referring to that. It's probably referring to a beer on draft. So that's what it is. I think it's a stout. Okay, carve away. To whittle something, just to carve it away, as in wood. And then first name in wabbit hunting. So this is Elmer Fudd, who in Looney Tunes, I guess, sings "Kill the Wabbit, Kill the Wabbit" to Wagner. Okay, let's see. Duane Reade is a drugstore chain that I think of as, I don't know, maybe it's elsewhere, but I think of Duane Reade as being a completely New York thing. They're just absolutely everywhere in New York. But they might be elsewhere as well. I'm not sure. Okay, gave prompt attention, cued. So if you gave an actor a prompt, that's literally their cue, their prompt. So a bit of a little pun in here. Lemon-like fruit is... Oh, this is really annoying that I can't think of this. It's on the tip of my tongue and I can't... This is incredibly annoying. Okay, well, I'll get it through crosses, hopefully. Petrol measure would be a liter. And, oh, right, okay, so what's going on here is that petrol is what, here in the UK, you'd say instead of gasoline for, to fill an internal combustion engine vehicle. But the reason that that's important is because also liter is being spelled in British English with the R before the E rather than American English, where the R would follow the E. So that's what's going on there. And as is so often the case, you have either a place name referenced or just something using a particular kind of form of speech or dialect or what language or whatever, and that answer needs to match that. Oh, is this... No, I was going to say citron. Maybe that's what I was thinking of, but I might just be thinking of French. So what is this then? Sugar serving, a lump of sugar, which I feel as though I mainly know from old cartoons and old movies and things more than hearing that in these days in life. Okay, so who are John Wayne and Ian Fleming for two in this particular case? Something parts? Art parts? That doesn't mean anything. I don't know what that is. I don't know what this is. And it does say for two. This isn't saying John Wayne or Ian Fleming. So either this is a plural noun or it's an adjective that would define both of them. I still don't know. Here we have blank queen, yas queen, which is a sort of modern cry of encouragement. Not just mine is ours. There we go. Oh, airports. Ah, right. Oh, maybe this is LSD, and this isn't drum solo. That would explain why I couldn't figure out how to make these drum solo. So here we have, drum roll. There we go. Drum roll. That's a skill you might request from a drummer is a drum roll. Okay, there we go. And so, of course, that makes much more sense here. The drum is literally being rolled around. Sorry about that. If you were very frustrated, maybe yelling through the screen about my inability to understand what I'd done wrong. But here we go. This is indeed citron. So, right. Okay. So what is that fruit then? Is that a hybrid lemon lime? I'm not sure. But let's see. Because it means lemon in some languages. But anyway, flowering plant that lent its name to a lane on Desperate Housewives. Well, I've never seen Desperate Housewives, but I do recognize the name wisteria. And then an extended form of surveillance is a stakeout, so, sort of police stakeout or something. Here we have the genial boatswain in Peter Pan. So Smee is Hook's boatswain, so there we go. Nana is a grandma. I assume we're spelling this way as opposed to grandma, which would be too long, so that doesn't fit anyway. So there we have it, a grandmother. Stereotypical word in a heart tattoo. Mom is very sort of stereotypically, you see kind of, I don't know, sailors with mom in a heart with an arrow, that kind of thing in cartoons for whatever reason. Scandal to a career, say. I'm not sure what that's getting at. Doctor who lent his name to a therapeutic system. Doctor, I don't know. Okay, what about this? I mean it quaintly. And carried along, born, if someone's carried along, they're born on your back, maybe. Targets of squats informally. Your quads, I suppose, which are sort of on the upper bit of your upper legs. It could be the answer. This looks like barbecues then. Yes, some summer cookouts informally are barbecues. And I mean it quaintly. Be blank rock. You rock. Oh, by gum maybe is I mean it quaintly. I think this came up just within the last few days. I can't remember if it was in the New York Times crossword or if it was one of the other word games I play on the channel. But this did come up, by gum did come up just within the last several days, I think. Anyway, a scandal to a career might be an undoer of a career, right? Your career could be undone by scandal. And then here, Doctor who lent his name to a therapeutic system, mesmer. And this is from which we obtain the word mesmerize. I am familiar with that generally. I don't think I know what the specific therapeutic system is, though, so I'll have to look that up. But anyway, this should be the answer, and there we go. No, didn't get it right. Okay, I'll have to run through this puzzle, as I often do. If it takes me more than a couple of seconds, I'll edit out the time, so you don't need to watch me search through the grid. Here we go. I misspelled Dwayne Reed, and what I didn't do was check the crosses, which had I done so, I would have caught my mistake because I just didn't look at this clue at all. This says German 53 across, so German grandma, which is Oma. Grandpa would be Opa, grandma Oma, and I missed that entirely, didn't even read the clue, so there we go. That's a tricky one there, Dwayne Reed and Oma, because if you don't know the German word for grandma and you don't know Dwayne Reed, the drugstore chain, that is, this is fairly arbitrary. Oma, you could maybe guess. But anyway, there we have it. Sorry about that. That was the Wednesday crossword. And let's see. I really don't have much time, but let's go over the theme quickly. I do like to review the theme. So we have our drum roll theme, display of skill that I completely erroneously had in the grid as drum solo for the longest time. So you could request a drum roll from Meg White, John Bonham, or Ringo Starr. And then we would see the potential representation of that 4 times throughout the grid. And it looks like, yes, in each case, we have a different arrangement of the word drum in our drum rolls. So they are sort of rolling through the grid, I guess you could say. And there we have it. That was the Wednesday crossword. And sorry for my multiple mistakes today, but anyway, got there eventually in the end. And now, before I end the video, I will very quickly just read a couple of comments, I should say, regarding clues on yesterday's puzzle. So, Any Prophet explains, regarding barrel-aged ales, It's very common to barrel age dark ales and sours, but you'll occasionally see beers made from lighter malts aged in barrels, especially in the craft beer scene. So thank you for that bit of context. And then regarding my musing about the last alphabetical element, Brian Parente points out it's zirconium. So there we go. Probably should have been able to guess that one, but I didn't think about it and didn't get it. But there we have it. That was the Wednesday crossword. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back tomorrow for the Thursday, which should be a trickier or more interesting or intricate theme. So do join me for that. But until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Wednesday. Take care.